Manraj, how are the numbers looking to you?
All the exit polls had projected a clean sweep by Congress, and it did look like in the initial, as the counting progressed in the early hours. But now
Can you
it's
hear?
BJP is leading on 49 and the Congress on 35. So the only thing is that the margins are falling. So earlier the margins were very huge. The BJP margins at some places there were more than 20,000, even 30,000. So I can see the margins coming down, but still Congress seems to be static at 35.
You can hear, right?
So this is if BJP wins, it will be unprecedented. It will be a historic victory because it's for the first time that a party will form a government in the state for the third consecutive term.
I can't hear her, but you guys can.
Hello, can you hear me?
Raj, what do you think about the fallback for the Congress here?
Don't know because Congress was very confident of winning Haryana. In fact, we used to remark that it has already started celebrating and BJP hasn't because BJP fights till the very last minute as they did now. So I guess if they lose, because last time also they had won 30 seats. So this time they seem poised at 35. But we should wait till at least 1 p.m. Uh, for more concrete results.
Absolutely. We should wait for some more time. But right now, as we can see, BJP is at 49, Congress is at 35, and there are the others at 6. Manraj, can you tell us about the other alliances that are in play as the counting progresses?
The alliances haven't done very well. INLD is getting one seat, which seems to be getting ahead in their ancestral seat of Rania, where Om Prakash Chautala's great grandson is surging ahead, the former chief minister's uh, grandson, I think, yeah, grandson. But JJP hasn't done well at all. JJP was in alliance with BJP in 2019. It allied with the BJP to form the government, and Dushyant Chautala was made the deputy chief minister. But they have drawn a blank this time. So, except for INLD, uh, no other party seems to have done well. The only thing is that the multiplicity of candidates, I think they seem to have dented Congress the most because all the anti-BJP votes got distributed within these parties. So that mandate did get dissipated a little. Although wherever we went, we were told it's a bipolar contest in the minds of people that it's going to be Congress versus BJP. But the other parties also have got votes, though not as much. And at the end, if it's a very narrow fight, and the margins are very little, that means BJP kind of benefited from the multiplicity of candidates on every seat. So because now we had not just BJP and Congress, we also had AAP. AAP was in alliance with Congress in the Lok Sabha elections, but this time it went alone. Both the parties went alone.
Manraj, despite what the exit poll said and despite how the counting looked early in the morning, what do you think are the probable reasons as to why the Congress is looking at this slump?
I think BJP had drawn BJP's game plan right from the beginning was to consolidate the non-Jat votes. So you see, Jats comprise 25% of the voters. And what we saw, what was very visible on the ground, was the anger of farmers. And farmers are largely Jat. So I think this is why people felt that Congress is gaining ground. But BJP continued to focus on OBCs and Dalits. Now, OBCs, they are said to be almost 40% of the population. OBCs, Dalits, Brahmins, and baniyas. So BJP, I think that was their strategy on the paper, and that seems to have worked out very well on the ground as well, because they seem to have made it a Jat versus non-Jat votes. Now Congress was making it a haves versus have-not. So most of the Congress, at least Rahul Gandhi, focused on how BJP is a party of Punjivadis, Punjipatis, the big corporates versus the small farmer, and how we will take from the corporates and give it to uh, the farmers. That may have worked in certain quarters, but say the GT road belt, the towns, the urban areas, that doesn't seem to have worked there. And BJP has consolidated its hold on, has been working very consistently to woo the non-Jat voters, to woo the urban voters. So the urban voters were very quiet. The rural voters were very loud, and that gave us the impression that it's BJP is losing and Congress is winning. But it seems the quiet voter, they turned out to vote and they voted in support of BJP. So that is one reason. And secondly, Prime Minister Modi, I think he addressed a record number of rallies in this election. And the entire BJP top brass was here, right from Yogi Adityanath to the Home Minister Amit Shah, etc. So they did cover a lot of ground. Uh, Congress, we had Rahul Gandhi, his Rath Yatras were very successful, but it seems the silent voter who did not come out to speak against anyone, they seem to have voted for the BJP.
I just wanted to ask you, the Congress, despite its confidence and despite all the narrative that they had built over the last month or so, that they're going to win, what could be like the main 3 or 4 reasons why, if these trends continue, they've lost so much ground in a state they were so confident of winning?
I think BJP managed to make a dent in the OBC and Dalit votes. So you see, wherever we went in the villages, BJP had made big inroads there. So the impression on the ground was that Prime Minister Modi is very much, his heart is in the right place when it comes to SCs and Dalits. And lot of schemes, especially when it came to women, a lot of self-help groups we saw were in place, and they were mostly targeted at the Dalit voter. And Congress seems to have not succeeded in reaching out to either the OBCs or the Dalits. So while they were not very loud when it came to voicing their support for BJP, but they did say that they had gained a lot during these last 10 years, and a lot of development work, development initiatives, social welfare schemes, they had benefited from them. And this Haryana state government has been taking a lot of pride in the fact that they were the #1 state in India when it came to direct benefit transfer. So what they did is they removed all the middlemen, and they made sure that the money, that whatever the dole was, that went right into the accounts of the beneficiary, the real beneficiary. I think that got them, as we say, the Labharti schemes in UP, we would call them Labharti schemes, the social welfare schemes, that got them a lot of goodness on the ground. Because even at the village level, earlier, Sarpanch had a big role to play in making sure that certain doles, certain social welfare measures reach to the last man in the queue. What BJP did is it removed him also from the equation. So the power that Sarpanch had to sway the voters or to tell the village that, we are going to take XYZ, the side of this party, that went away, and the individual voter was empowered to think of for his own. Everybody, even the Jats, agreed that there had been a lot of development. So very concrete development. Literally, you saw those, those the village meeting places. They call them Janj Ghar, or very nicely done. It almost like a house. Panchayat Ghar, the panchayat offices, nicely appointed buildings, nicely made. The roads, the internal roads, etc., were good. So I think while these people did not spell out their loyalty to the party, but they went in favor of BJP and against Congress, because Congress was considered the party of the Jats, or the land-owning classes, the farmers. I think that went against Congress. And then the GT road, the urban areas, so there Congress, BJP has done a lot of development work, and the people agreed, yes, there's a lot of development that BJP has done. It has gotten a lot of investment. So there was progress at the level of the small business person. So the Banyas, the Brahmins, they ended up voting for BJP. Their votes got consolidated in favor of BJP, whereas Congress, the Congress rhetoric, the stand they took against corporates, even though they named just 2 corporates, the fact is, the message that went is that we will take from the pockets of the haves and give it to the have-nots. So that may have jarred, these industrialists, or even the small trader who was doing well and who may have felt that the party is taking a very socialist model of development, in the sense saying that we will take from one and we'll give it to the other. Maybe that didn't sit well with them, and that could be one reason why the the non-Jat votes got consolidated against Congress and in favor of BJP. And also, when it came to vote distribution, Congress, what BJP did is it changed a lot of candidates when compared to 2019. I think in the GT belt itself, GT belt is the belt along from Haryana, from Chandigarh to Delhi. The 6 constituencies you have: Kurukshetra, Karnal, Faridabad, etc. So there are 25 seats, which kind of BJP has been nurturing very, very assiduously. So in those seats as well, they kind of they replaced 11 candidates. So almost half the candidates were replaced. Whereas Congress, in their ticket distribution, they gave the seats to most of the sitting candidates. So not a lot of youngsters were given seats, not a lot of new faces as compared to BJP.
Right before we let you go, Badraj, who do you think will be in the fray for CM's post in Haryana?
Comes to power, they have very clearly anointed the sitting CM, Naib Singh Saini, as their candidate. He's an OBC, and so he kind of fits in their caste matrix, whatever the matrix they have, the non-Jat votes. The OBCs form 40% of the voters of Haryana. So if it is BJP, it will be Naib Singh Saini. They have clearly said so.